believe in yourself. Because the truth is, this reality. The world is not a nice place. So sometimes you have to be strong for yourself. And yeah, I don't like saying this, but I'll say it. But you have to be strong for other people too. There are people out there who are happy because you're alive. There are people out there who are happy because you're there in their lives. Being a musician, I used to love music. A family in Lamasalo, my mother's family side, most of them are musicians. And Sakulele Church. And Konono to be seeing other people with and you want to do the same, but you can't. I was still a kid. And then when I went to Central High School. So Central High School, abalanda sports. But when it comes to music, they took it serious. And I joined the choir, but so I ended up dropping out. And then the first time I started was, I remember all the song Lil Wayne, Terah, John, my remix. And when I did that, everyone was so happy and I liked the energy of the band. Ever since, that's when I started writing. So I started writing a remix of my songs band up until I could write my own original music. Yeah, I like the energy of Bulawayo because Bulawayo is more like it's essay. It's a mini essay, and already if you're an artist of Bulawayo, you feel like you're competing internationally. So everything has to be a science loquanity. It should be substandard. You don't know who's listening to your music, and everything has to be perfect quality. And that's how I feel Bulawayo, because it's a bigger stage. It's not only limited to Zimbabwe, but it's also SA and other. So that's how I feel with Bulawayo, Masuchai music. You have to be serious, and I've been serious lately. In Nkula, I was shy. Even up until now, I'm antisocial. But I've been able to interact with people more now because people admire music. And when you go on stage, I've learned to engage the crowd. Like, I go on YouTube when you go on YouTube, they check out Ama Sports, music, but I go to check out other artists, how they perform, how they engage the crowd, what they do. Because when you go to Abantu Ngabaziyo, you have to do something vibe. So I've learned how to engage with the crowd. Or sometimes I dance. I've always been a good dancer, but I've learned my dances so that when you feel like people are not hyped up, you start dancing, and it always works. It's like no sister Bettina trick. At least I'm alone, but in Tingo place. So what I do now is I save. I save from Yabule budget to life for my groceries, rent, then you have to cut and minimize my expenses. So that's what I do over the course of the whole year. I save knowing which I'll need to record, I'll need to do this and that. So I have a piggy bank. So this piggy bank, and when I have a song or a music video I want to shoot, so it's like the finance, and I'm working on getting Ama sponsors, but Ama sponsors are hard to come by because they only support you if what you're doing is aligned to their cause. Yeah. The other thing is our music is heavily influenced by the Western culture. And you see their progress, you see what they're doing, and then you compare yourself to Zimbabwe, finance and what. And now, when you're doing music, like me, I'm doing music and I'm also a student, trying to balance the two. I'm competing against umuntu in music full time. Or chone studio, or chone tolama links, and mina the other timing up. So you get to a point whereby you have to choose between the two. Uthi ngichisicela or ngichi music. And in that moment, at that point, lapana crossroads, it's so hard. And when you ask other people, they always tell you, nah, you can drop music and continue school. But you also feel like these people don't care about my dreams. They only care about, all right, abazali bami babhadale fees. They're struggling for this and that. And what you need when as an artist, what you need as a human being, abantu abasela ndaba lakho. You're living in a situation whereby people have to survive, and you don't have that for your own passion to strive. So yeah, those are my situations in Angena where I had to choose between leaving school or leaving music. And I chose school. But yeah, I'm now back. What comes to my mind now when I'm sad is, should I have done that? Or should I have taken this path? Should I have listened to Zban? Outcome is a pumanjan. So when that feeling now, I feel like everyone has that feeling of being depressed, but ilama triggers. So when you're now triggered and you're now in that space, which you're in that deep hole and you don't know, you start to think, am I the one who's wrong? Am I the one? And you're no longer confident with my decisions. And moment unga doubt her, it becomes worse and worse and worse. And now you're scared to ask aban or talk to people, because even if they give you the advice, you're scared that if you take it might go sideways. If you don't, you'll still blame yourself. Yeah. So things start to change, the way you see things. I started running away from stuff. I'm not a party person, but I was clubbing back to back, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I was changing friends. I'm hanging out with those people, the next day with those people, because I was like me and my thoughts. And there was a week where everyone was I think it was simple. That's when I was left with my thoughts. That's when I started knowing I wanna and people don't see it because sometimes we tend to overwork ourselves, maybe study hard, party hard, but we don't want to face reality. That's the truth. The moment you don't want to face reality, just know something is wrong and you have to fix one or two things. When I was in depression, I felt like coming to school was the wrong decision. I felt like my whole life was a lie. I felt like I could have been a better person. I could have made more wiser decisions, but now I couldn't do anything about it. I felt helpless and I felt hopeless for Tuti, so pity. So those are my thoughts that time. And eventually I started slacking in school. And you're coming from primary, you're an A student, high school, you're an A student, and I come to NAST, one of the best universities. You're doing civil engineering and they need you to be at the top of your game. But now, I'm immense again. Immense is a balance, and you start doubting yourself. Am I this good? Am I this? Am I that? And those are my thoughts back in the day. And I started shying away from the crowds. And I started pulling myself from the crowd. Even when I tried to create music, it didn't make sense. Even Andoa University, if we're in depression, that's when we can create good music. But for me, even on my beats, the sound had to change and I didn't like it. So my thoughts are like, you know what? Why am I even doing this anymore? both the music and school, and yeah, even thinking about it is actually depressing. How did you get here? And the other thing, once you're there, you're now starting to think, how did we get here? And then that's when you see with high depression, it builds ambition, and up until it's now one whole lot thing you can't take anymore. And yeah, I didn't have anyone at that time because most of my family relatives are in SA, and mother's side were like Bulawayo, but we are close, but not that close. Then my parents got tears was here. So you're stuck here. So when you're stuck here, maybe they have what they expect. So just best in their bubble like that. I'm feeling so. And plus, I was on Joel of whatever at that time. And that one person you trusted the most, you opened up to it was more complicated. You have insecurities that I can't keep opening up to more and more people if they're not gonna stay in your life. So that time I didn't have anyone, and I tried. I'm a counselor as a nurse. They tried to help, and then this other time I visited. There's this Lomoy Mama song. I just call her my aunt, but singing a song church, same church. So I visited her, and that day all when you pastor, prophet, then we got to talk about a lot of stuff, and he just told me positive stuff. And ever since, that was like a turning point for me, seeking the light, and yeah, ever since I've been fighting this, and nothing is easy to do when I felt depressed. They're good counselors, they're very good counselors, but I felt like there was a huge disconnect because with their training, they were basing on their training more than their human feelings. For them it's premeditated, is always with how are you feeling today? So since in about this. I had this friend of mine who used to help me. I'm a therapist who helps me at his therapy sessions. And it's one of those which in therapy, sometimes you can just get there and we talk about maybe sport, talk about different stuff, and we don't dig deep into what's triggering me, and we concentrate more on the positives and distractions which can help me. So I feel like if being alone is a konap, which it shouldn't be by the book, because my problems are corner at that time. My problems are corner at taste achieve, and my problems are over corner in the near future achieve, because my generation achieve. So for they help me and to keep my suicide thoughts and everything, to say hi, you have a purpose in life, you have this in life. But now to get you from that one point to point B all super, because they, even when I feel like they into, they're holding back, of which they shouldn't hold back, because you don't know, every time you're talking to someone, you might be saving their lives. So if you're just doing your job, you're just doing your job, but you're not saving lives. I grew up in an environment whereby Umdala Wahamba Harare. So there used to be the whole tribal thing, and so my dad is very particular about who I play with, who I interact with. And growing up in that environment now, you have to learn to be self-sufficient. So now what triggers me the most is I try to do everything around me by myself. When it comes to school, if I feel like I'm not connecting with people, when you go to a group study and my personal agendas and you feel like I'm left out and I have to do that on my own. When it comes to music, some people have my record labels, get funding from La, and I have to also for that money on my own. And I have to manage myself on my own, get my own shows, make sure ukuthi ideal ngikhona laphuma, accommodation, transport, performance fee, and everything that I do, I have to do it on my own, to the extent ukuthi I don't have a social life beyond school, beyond music. And people expect it, we're artists, you have a lot of friends around you, you have people to talk to. The only time I talk to a person, I send a broadcast listed, please subscribe, like my video. And I don't get to talk to people. And was it last week? I needed something. Then I started, I have a lot of, more than I think 800 unread chats. So I'm like, let me just go through it. And it was just some fire emojis, hi, nice music, nice what. I didn't have that one person, how was your day? Or how is your day? What are you going through? Are you okay? So I feel like he could trigger my feelings, and that's the main, because I'm doing everything by myself. And when I get to rest, it's okay life. First experience was when I dropped out in school. When I had depression, I couldn't think straight. I remember, says towards my exams, and ngabamba question paper. It was blank. I couldn't think anything. And I revise. I could do revise. I tried to attempt food, nothing. So I discovered that I was now having my memory losses. When you start having my memory losses, guys, sabi so much because you don't know now what's happening. And when you try to open up to someone, everyone assumed that I was taking drugs. I'm like, guys.
Especially in African countries.
Yeah, see, I taken drugs, especially the friends. I have hay fever. So hay fever doesn't allow me to smoke shisha, weed, or anything. Whereas with alcohol, I can't take alcohol because I was and sometimes I feel like I'm born in the spirit. Yeah, I'm born in the spirit. But now being an artist, people assume that it's this and that. And I had the weight loss. And when I had that weight loss, everyone just assumed that I want to take my drugs. So I died. Mainly rasta. So the worst feeling was that I simply black out. I wasn't going to cause those memory losses. And I felt like people now, I used to exclude myself from the people, but now I feel like people now excluding me from them. And it was a rough feeling, and it's something I don't even wish it on my worst enemy. These days I'm about depressed. So there was a time when someone recommended gym and exercises. I was Zumba Labana. They actually help. And now when I just feel depressed, I know what to do. I know Puma, take a walk, listen to music, different artists, locally and international artists. Back then, I didn't have that remedy. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have my distractions. I had no one. Even the test, I don't have anyone, but same as with the medical aid, or other therapists in town, or church. So I've been going to this church at the base community. So we go to church Monday, Tuesday, and Fridays. And being around it's a small group of people, student-based church. So it also helps interacting with people at your same age, going through the same things. They can relate more. And they're also white people. So white people, they understand these things more. There's more blacks, depression. I think it's 50-50. Because so sometimes if we tap into our feelings, see, Jinga leaves it, the country doesn't move. the culture doesn't move. Because imagine if I taste to I get depressed, then I don't push through. That's, you have seen limited the music in the industry. Or so I feel like there is a time whereby you should actually tap into your feelings. It's okay not to be okay. There are times when you need to talk to someone. For me, I talk to my mom. There are times I call her, hey, Mom, I'll go shop. But there are times where I have to be a man. And because if I get pushed over, I'm a triggers at yeah, this really needs help. So we're going to high, you just push it on the side and you continue. But as Africans, I feel like we are overlooking it to the extent that we have seen a high rise in suicides from men who suffer in silence because it's being regarded as weak, of which that's not true. Everyone has feelings. People should express their feelings, not over-express. So I feel like there's a certain limit. You should draw a line to say, hi, say expose or fiala. It's like how our parents growing up. My relationships were never perfect, but we never saw them fight. But now, with your own personal relationships, man, you have so wanted, you are every day. So I feel like there's always that line you should draw to say, I should show vulnerability to this extent or push. But I'm Africans, they should accept that depression is a thing and it's here to stay. And the only way to cure it is to create a friendly environment for everyone. Whether it's a child, it's a big person, 62 years old, because it's a feeling, it's like love. Everyone has love, but ilama triggers. So, you act a certain way, same with depression. And people should help you and guide you to say, so I think people should show people more, hi, I'm actually going through this, so that they can get help. When I take everything on myself, you don't get to see other people's perspective. And sometimes in lunch, because I can ask if I use the GPS test, to get main gate. But if I ask people, please get this type of thing. So yeah, so I feel like that's what people should do, should open up, not more, but at least try to. People around you, they change. My beliefs, they change. Because during depression, most people, they seek a higher power. So when you seek a higher power, it now depends on which higher power you're seeking. Some, they meditate, they start taking weed and drugs because they just want to feel. They don't, it's no longer facing reality. That's when you see people posting my quotes at church and so there's always, it changes your spirit. You need to seek a purpose in life. So when you're depressed, that's what changes. The people around you automatically change. There's some people, you could also want people for who they are. You start to see this is a real person, low, is here for what I have, money or whatever. And during depression, you lose a lot of stuff. So when you lose a lot of stuff, things change. Yeah. I think my faith, to say, as I said, I grew up in a church environment. My father's a pastor, and knowing what from a very young age, the goal was eternal life. So school came, whatever came, but school doesn't depress. But I knew there's life after school. Music ain't depressed, but I knew I didn't start music at here, so I've survived without it. So what kept me going was looking for that one thing that can change my life. So all humans, we have that, it's chai grind, not because we want to get rich, but we just hope we want to get somewhere. So that hope of getting to the next level kept me going, kept one push up until I survived 2 or 3 years as a depression's gone. Believe in yourself, everyone. Because the truth is, this reality. The world is not a nice place. Lately, these days, people in violence. Everyone, Jolo, doing the things. So sometimes you have to be strong for yourself. And yeah, I don't like saying this, but I'll say it. But you have to be strong for other people too. There are people out there who are happy because you're alive. There are people out there who are happy because you're there in their lives. So taking a matters like considering suicide, it's not it, everyone. Because this life, you have to understand, which we are coexisting with everyone. As much as you're living for yourself, you're also living for someone else. And that person is also living for you. So it's selfish of someone to separate themselves. Now, one of that mistake I was doing, to say, when I get depressed, I'm getting separated from people. But that's the time that I needed people most. And being there for people, it doesn't mean wanna be sharp, sharp. But if I show them good, I trust them in those times, they are going to trust me in their times. And that's how we build a culture and we grow, you spread the love organically. Because it's me showing the next person love, and that next person shows the other person love, and the whole world will get to love again. And I want to say because of the violence on social media. But if one is depressed, stay away from social media. Twitter. Twitter has a lot of negativity, toxicity, and be close to your family. You can't change your family. No matter what happens, they'll be there for you. Friends are changed due to what vision you have, that is, what environment you have. Abangani labo in Kola, separated when we had to change schools. Abangani labo in school, when we changed university labo change. Ngapa, different programs get changed, but family I change. So I think sticking to your family in hard times like this can matter more.